Comics the Magazine is the powerhouse periodical you need to have. From creator interviews to insightful articles, Comics delivers the best parts of the fandom each and every issue. It has an exclamation point in its name for a reason. So what are you waiting for? Get to your local comic shop and pick up the latest issue and check out comicsthemagazine.com for more information. Comics the Magazine is what the fans are reading. Live from the 607, it's the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking everything movies, TV, comics, and entertainment. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag ODPH, because here we go. Welcome to a very special edition of Fanlight Zone Presents. My name is Ken M. You know me as the host of the ODPH podcast. I'm also the editor-in-chief here at FLZ. To my left, your right at home, he's one of our featured comic editors. And you know him as the host of 607 TWS, The Wrestling Show. Please give a warm welcome to Rich.
Unfortunately, I am currently sitting in the ODPH.
Welcome to a very special edition of Fanlight Zone Presents. My name is Ken M. You know me as the host of the ODPH podcast. I'm also the editor-in-chief here at FLZ. To my left, your right at home, he's one of our featured comic editors. And you know him as the host of 607 TWS, The Wrestling Show. Please give a warm welcome to Rich.
Unfortunately, I am currently sitting in the ODPH studios. However, I would much rather be in hot, sunny Southern California, especially with all this smog coming on to here on the East Coast. So it would be wonderful to be there. But guess what? We get the California dream right now, Ken.
Absolutely, because going on July 23rd through the 26th is the pop culture event of the year. Some would say. We argue New York Comic Con is right up there with it. But the one that has everybody buzzing right now going into the summertime is San Diego Comic Con. The first one ever since 1970, coming back strong with a lot of great panels involving comics and pop culture that you need to know about. And what we're going to be doing is our usual preview edition. So we're going to skim over the publishers that we think you want to go check out there. There's so much going on. We might miss something because, hey, we're human. But that's why you want to go to comic-con.org. But you want to make sure you're following your favorite publishers and your favorite creators about what they have going on at the big event. Because, like I say, it is going to be something you want to check out.
And it is also important to note that, yes, we will possibly be talking about some excitement that might be taking place outside of the realm of comics, well, the exact realm of comics, but this is going to be focused mostly on what is going on that is comic book related. So that would be comic book publishers, the big news they're bringing there, and not necessarily what's going down in Hall H, because I'm assuming some big things will happen in Hall H like they do each and every year regarding different movies and movie franchises. But we might do a little bit at the end of kind of maybe giving our locks and leaps of what we think will happen there. But outside of that, this is focused mostly in comics. And of course, I think the kickoff to this, before I let you talk about the scheduling of everything else, is make sure you visit Artist Alley.
Yes,
because San Diego Comic-Con has now been sporting a gigantic artist alley once again, which is a big win over the last few years. And there's been some really cool stuff going on. And if you've never been to the artist alley and this is your first time in San Diego, this is a great chance to meet a lot of creators, whether those be artists or writers or anybody else that, that does covers and just really cool art form stuff. It is a great place to go. And I can't stress enough that you should at least make the stop there. I understand there's a lot of great panels to go to, but also make sure you have time to go wander around Artist Alley.
Anytime you can go meet the creators of your favorite books or ones that you don't know yet, but you want to get familiar with, it's a perfect time to go. This is why you go to the cons, you celebrate your fandom, you go interact, become a better fan, and really celebrate the medium that has given us so much enjoyment over the years. And obviously, there's a lot to be excited about in the land of comics right now. As you follow Fanlight Zone on every single social media account, we're talking about it every single Wednesday. In between, there's so much to be amped up to be a fan about. And the publishers are really coming with a strong welcome to San Diego this year, too, as well. So, Rich, shall we get into it?
Sure, let's dive right in. Who's the first publisher up?
The first one is Titan Comics. They have got some great books going on right now, and they have a very, very loaded lineup of panels that you want to know about. They're kicking off events Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Note the times we're saying are Pacific time, so definitely make sure to adjust wherever you're watching the show from. And they're kicking off obviously with their signature Conan the Barbarian Beyond the Comics. A lot of special ones going on, guests going on. And obviously, if you've been following our guy Joey from So Wizard Podcast, he's reviewing Conan, loves that line, raves about it. But that's not the only big one they have going on. Let's talk
Ooh.
about what they have going on Friday, Rich.
Oh, Friday, you got got a new book that they're really touting. It's called Black Star. If you have not heard about it yet, trust me, you will be hearing about it in the very near future. And this book is actually written by Kristen Kirk, who is from Smallville.
Yes.
Smallville fame for those Smallville fans. She's writing this book. It looks tremendous. Herself, Peter Mooney, and Eric Putzer will all be at the panel, which will be taking place 10:30 a.m. on Friday, once again Pacific time. So check that out. I do know some of these will be streaming and will be available online. We don't have the exact list of those, so beware, be careful. But let's be honest: if you're following and have your ear to this, to what's going on in San Diego, there's ways to find out what's going on. Make sure you're following people who are there and covering the event as well. But this one's going to be one that I'm marking on my calendar because there's a big groundswell and big push behind this one, and it looks tremendous. I can't wait to find out more.
Yeah, definitely. This is one that fans are really going to want to keep their ears out for because there's a lot of hype coming with this book. So Titan's got a loaded lineup there too. Another Conan the Barbarian panel is going on Saturday as well. So they have great books. If you're not familiar with that line, you need to get familiar with them because they're doing some very big things over there.
Yeah, Joey from So Wizard Podcast would definitely agree with that.
Yes. Next up is our friends over at Boom Studios.
Boom.
And they are coming with the boom. There's a lot of excitement with their current Power Rangers line. And so fitting that that's going to be the first panel they're kicking off Thursday with, Rich.
I was going to say, it is morphin time all over the place here, and Boom is doing a great job. I just want to throw that out as a side note because at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Power Rangers, the next era begins, will be going on. We have creators Marguerite Bennett from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, also Philip Seavey from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then two people that we really enjoy a lot and with their new book is tremendous. That would be Power Rangers Unlimited. That would be Kenny Porter and Joey Esposito.
Yeah.
And trust me, plus there's going to be special guests coming. They've said special guests. We don't know. Don't look at us, but Boom Studios is going to have some really cool stuff. And trust me, this new Power Rangers universe is top tier.
Yeah. If you have not checked out for whatever reason, Power Rangers Unlimited, that book is incredible. And even if you're not a diehard Power Rangers fan, you can get caught up in that story real quickly. And it is just like a Hollywood blockbuster film. Like it's just action going on. You can't go wrong with that. They also have some great panels going on the course of Friday, 1:30 to 2:30. They're doing a Comics for You behind the scenes. And at 3:30, Comics for You Owning Your Story, which is definitely going to be having a very cool lineup for that one. Julio Anta is going to be there with Jacoby Salcedo, who you're going to know from that book coming out very shortly, which you have to keep your ears out for at Fanlight Zone presents for a future note.
And then absolutely, both of those are going to be dealing with new books that they are launching that they are very tight-lipped about until San Diego.
Yes. And Sarah Gailey will also be at that panel too. And Marguerite Bennett is going to be at the panel at 1:30 as well. And then when you get into Saturday, they have a great panel focused on Hello Darkness. So if you know about that anthology, Rich, you've reviewed that many times here on Fanlight.
I have, and I will just throw it out there. Saturday is for horror for Boom Studios because there's other ones as well that are going on, but they got a great lineup for this. It's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. At Pacific time, of course. Hello Darkness, my old friend. I love how they took that line. It was great. They're going to have it's going to be hosted by the editor Sebastian Grenier and Maya Bollinger, but they have an all-star lineup. Tate Brownbull will be there. Julia Anta will also be there as well. Tiny Howard will be there, and Becky Cloonan also. So, they have a real all-star lineup for people who have been contributing to Hello Darkness for a while. And on top of that, you never know who could show up because Hello Darkness has a really big, I hate to use the word backlog, but backlog of people who have done little blurbs in it throughout its run. If you're not reading this anthology series, you absolutely should be. But I did tease there is more horror coming that day because Saturday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Slaughterverse Unmasked Inside the World of Something is Killing the Children will be taking place. James Tynan will be in the building as well as Wither Della Rada, and Tate Brumble will be there, and Kirsten White as well. And they are also teasing some special guests. Boom Studios really overly teasing the special guests, and that is a big bucket of win for us all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, if you have not been checking out the Something That's Killing the Children line, especially with the Fall of the House of Slaughter book that's going on right now, they're really amping up for issue number 50 of Something That's Killing the Children to come out. And we might hear some more about what was teased in New York last year. It was Swamp Thing is Killing the Children. So stay tuned for that. Super excited to see what they have going on. Boom obviously is doing big things. And like I said, if you haven't checked out their lineup lately, you definitely need to.
Oh, absolutely.
And then going also kind of branching out from Boom a little bit is our friends over at Tiny Onion. So this is a series I know, Rich, you are a big fan of.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little Exquisite Corpses.
So Thursday from noon to 1 p.m., they are going to have a Exquisite Corpses, the game and beyond. And by the way, I had the honor of being at the Exquisite Corpses launch at New York Comic Con where they talked about it. That has already gone through Kickstarter. It has been funded. It's amazing looking. If you don't know a lot about it, here's a good way to find out more about it. I know James Tynan and Michael Walsh will both be there, and it will be hosted by Sammy the Monster. Will be doing the hosting of this panel. If you have not gotten a chance to see the game, whether it was on Kickstarter or last year at New York Comic Con, you are going to want to check this out. This game looks phenomenal. It's going to be a lot of fun to play with friends. If you did not get behind it on Kickstarter, I do know there's ways to get it after it is come out, because they were selling it as bundles out to the LCSs and everything else. So
yeah,
really cool stuff. Keep your eyes on that. But if you want to find out more, and once again, I'm assuming we're also going to hear maybe a little bit more about what's going on, because we got a lot of big news coming out of Exquisite Corpses. Obviously, Rascal Randy just dropped. We do know the Fox Mask Killer book is dropping, as well as the Lone Gunman book as the spinoffs. And then, of course, we're waiting on bated breath for season 2 to be announced. So who knows? San Diego might be the place. It might not be. But that might not be the only place we get that, because on Friday, from 3 to 4 p.m., James Tynan will be doing a Frightening and Fantastic Worlds of James Tynan. So James Tynan will be there. Martin Simmons will be joining him. Of course, Martin Simmons from his art on the Department of Truth, which is phenomenal. Also Michael Walsh and a whole bunch of people. Of course, Sammy the Monster also hosting that one as well, because she is the community manager, if you will, for Tiny Onion. And this one looks like a lot of fun. So whatever you don't get in the Exquisite Corpses panel, you may actually get in this panel, because they are promising news about Exquisite Corpses as well as the future of the Department of Truth.
Yeah, exciting things happening at Tiny Onion. If like I say, if you haven't checked out their line of books, oh my God, what are you waiting for? Jump right into it.
Absolutely.
Another publisher that's very close to our hearts here is IDW Publishing. And one of the panels is the marquee ones on us, celebrating 300 issues of Turtle Power and Last Ronin. So, Rich, let's talk about that.
Listen, 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. That is going to be a great one. Listen, I am a huge fan. I also have the pleasure of being the one that reviews pretty much all the TMNT line for Fan Late Zone. So this is awesome for me. And what better fitting time, by the way? This is happening, and literally the 300th issue comes out this upcoming Wednesday as we're recording this, right before San Diego Comic-Con. But listen, don't take my word for it. If you pay attention to this one, you're going to get Gene Luen Yang, who of course is writing the main line right now. Tom Waltz, who just did an amazing job on the Last Ronin training day that just dropped right before as well. Andrew Jostra, who the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you have not checked that out, check it out. And we now know he's going to be staying on that book for a little while, so that is cool. And then of course I call him my favorite turtle publisher. Jake Thomas will be there as well, because he pretty much is the editor of all of the Turtle line books. So listen, if you have not been checking out the Turtle line, I don't know what you've been doing. One of the biggest lines in all of comic books. They are absolutely crushing it, in my opinion, each and every time out. The main line is great, and the spinoffs. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised about reading Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that is more kind of from the world of the animated movie that they put out, but Mutant Mayhem, if you will. But it is so damn good, and I'll even embarrass him a little bit. I'll think Greg Katzman to put me on that book, because trust me, you want to check this book out. It's amazing.
One of the best surprises of the year, in my opinion, because like Rich said, was not really on our radar, but thankfully it was shown to us, and now we're hooked in. And you talk about spinoffs, Shredder.
Oh, Shredder is one of the best. I know that technically nobody's representing it yet on here, but in my opinion, for my money, it's the best spinoff in all of comics. Not just the Turtle line, but all of comics. It is such a great book. If you have not been reading that, Dan Waters is on the writing on that, so you want to check out Shredder as soon as you get your hands on it. Issue had just come out, so issue 10, go check it out now.
Absolutely. And then obviously one of the lines that is really exploding for them is IDW Dark. And Saturday, the 25th, from 2 to 3, the masters of comic book horror. Let's talk about it, Rich.
Listen, I'm a big IDW Dark fan. I don't mind shilling that I've had the pleasure of reading all of these books, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Heather Antos will actually be hosting, as
nice.
well as the fact that she is the editor for the IDW Dark line. Does tremendous work, by the way. So shout outs to her. But if that's not enough, and it isn't, we got Patrick Horvath. You know him from a little book that's, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've heard of it, maybe not. Christian Ward is going to be there. So if you've been reading the Event Horizon books like I have, oh boy, this is a great one. In my opinion, nothing against anybody else, but possibly the best, or you know what, I don't really want to, I'm going to say it, the best writer in the horror genre possibly right now. Hannah Rose May is in the building for this one, as well as Stephanie Williams, who we just found out is doing the sequel to Smile. Hannah Rose May was did the first Smile for the Camera, and now we have Stephanie Williams stepping up and doing Any Given Smile. It's amazing. So that, and then Colin Kelly will be there, as well as Jansen Lanzig, and they're doing some huge book that isn't quite known yet, and
so that's why you want to make sure your attendance was like, this is a star-studded lineup right here. You don't want to miss what they have going on. IDW Dark has not missed since they've really formally launched, and the books that they're coming out, if you're into horror, you love what they do. If you're not, this is a great gateway to get into it, because you have some of the top level creators in the game right now doing these stories. And I am super excited to see what Stephanie Williams has coming out. Like the minute I saw that press release, I'm like, oh, I am in.
I've loved the Smile line. Like I said, Hannah Rose May crushed it on Smile for the Camera, which just wrapped up. I'm even more excited for Stephanie Williams coming in and taking that over, but seeing what they have already done. And that's the cool thing. If you're on the edge about it, even if you're a horror fan, you're on the edge. They're doing franchise work like Event Horizon, Smile, A Quiet Place. But they're also doing great originals like Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. And also, I can't talk about that book, but trust me, you want to tune into this, because then we can talk about it, because there's a certain book that I may or may not know about that is an original. But they have a great lineup of originals as well. Speaking of Hannah Rose May, she did a great, Exorcism at Buckingham Palace, and find that Exorcism at 1600. They have these great original ideas, as well as these amazing franchise things that you should be checking out, especially as a horror fan, but even not as a non-horror fan. Ken's not a huge horror fan, and he still checked out some of these books and really enjoyed.
They're incredible. Like they really threw up. Like Rich alluded to, I'm not the biggest horror fan. It's nothing against the genre, but over the years, I've really grown into it, especially with how much it's exploded on the comic scene, especially in the independent scene. And what IDW is doing is phenomenal work. So this is a line I really gravitate towards too when I go to the shops. And like I said, the storytelling that the creators they have announced for here, this is a must-attend panel.
Absolutely, all star-studded. Throwing it out there. Especially if you're into horror books, every one of the people on this panel is at the top of their game right now. The only person not there, but that's also because he doesn't currently work for IDW, would be James Tynan.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But yeah, like I say, IDW has a whole stacked lineup the entire weekend, so you want to make sure you're stopping by their booth and checking them out, and the other panels they have going on too. It's amazing stuff. But speaking of amazing stuff, I got this press release, and note all the information you're hearing from is also from the San Diego Comic-Con website and the direct publishers themselves. So Oni Press is having a huge weekend, but there was a combination of something going on that just when I read this, I went, how is this going to work? And then I read who's involved with it, and I said, oh, this is going to work huge, because it's Oni Press, Rebellion, and the Nacelle Company. So they're going to be kicking off the fight for the 22nd century in Judge Dredd Biker Mice from Mars #1. So this is a brand new partnership between Nacelle, Oni Press, and Rebellion. So they're going to be giving fans a special reward directly from the streets of Mega City 1 at Comic-Con International 2026 in San Diego, beginning on Thursday the 23rd. Simply visit the Rebellion booth to retrieve your free Mega City 1 parking ticket with official Department of Justice stamp, then get it stamped again in a sequence of the Nacelle Company booth and an Oni Press booth to avoid the death penalty, and receive one of 500 limited edition Judge Dredd and Biker Mice from Mars art prints, featuring the upcoming cover art from Eisner Award-winning superstar David Finch.
Ooh.
So I love at cons when they do the scavenger hunt type deal. And then, like I say, this is one knowing all three involved, this is going to be something great. And knowing what's going to be coming with this book, you want to make sure you're in attendance for what they have at the booths and really ask about this. I think this is going to be a fun series when it comes out. This is two worlds I never thought would come together, but that's the beauty of comics. You're going to get stuff like this. And then when we talk about Oni Press, the countdown to 30 years. So this is Thursday, July 23rd, 11 a.m. The countdown to 30 years of Oni Press starts right here at San Diego as the groundbreaking publisher of Scott Pilgrim, EC Comics, Genderqueer, and more celebrate a stunning slate of new releases in 2026 and beyond with creators Tyler Crook, Brian Lee O'Malley, Trad Moore, Kurt Piers, and Juan Gedden, and Christian Ward, alongside president and publisher Hunter Gorson and Sierra Hahn, the editor-in-chief. So there are more guests involved too. Oni Press is doing fantastic stuff. And this is one panel that if you know the creators I mentioned and you know their books that they've done on Oni Press, Out of Alcatraz, one of the most phenomenal books you're going to read. Scott Pilgrim, need I say more? And Supermondo Mega Mutts, which is an experience like no other. I love this book when it came out, let alone the others I mentioned too. Like I say, hit after hit after hit, and seeing what Oni does. And Oni really is an alternative voice in comics and the independent scene. I love the work they do there. And the countdown to 30 years, like it's crazy to think about, but man, this is going to be a fun panel to say the least.
Yeah, it's a great panel. There's a lot of cool the people on this panel. Christian Ward, launching the Forever Home. That's going to be that's been getting a lot of press. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. By the way, Supermondo Mega Mutts is a mouthful, but I will say this: I did land myself the TMNT 1 cover for that, so I am super stoked. So that's really cool. Such a great book. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to be thoroughly entertained with this. And cheers to 30 years of Oni Press, which is really dope, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, and especially too, they are also doing a little something with Archie Comics, the 85th anniversary celebration. So that's going to be taking place Saturday, July 25th, 11 a.m. In 1941, Archie Andrews made his first appearance in Pep Comics 22 and changed the course of comics history forever. Now, as Archie Comics prepares to mark 85 years of America's favorite teenager, get the inside track on Archie's exciting new line of comics publishing in collaboration with Oni Press and an anniversary celebration for the ages. So this is a look at their all-new series, including Archie, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Archie in Hell. And the involved with this, to name a few, Tyler Crook, Patrick Horvath. Like I say, this is another star-studded lineup of creators. And if you really want to hear about what's going on in this version of Riverdale, this is a must-attend panel.
Oh, absolutely.
This is going to be a fun one.
Listen, I love what they've been doing with Archie lately. I mean, we always make the joke, you made it when you get to cross over with Archie. Mm-hmm. But now Oni is focusing strictly on the Archie line for this one. So we are getting the Sabrina the Teenage Witch book. And also, listen, I'm a fan, Archie in Hell. A sight unseen, I'm going to be a fan of that book just because it makes sense to me.
Yes.
It makes sense.
It absolutely does. And then another one that, listen, we talk about panel or companies that are really on the rise, PCB Productions. Now, if you're not familiar with them, trust me, you are going to be extremely familiar with them by the time you're out of San Diego, because Danny Trejo is coming to the world of comics with Year of the Devil. So this is going to be Danny Trejo, Keith Aram, and Chris Yates, friend of the show, with Dave Alvarez Villapando. Apologies if I missed the name. And more special surprise guests are going to be discussing Danny's upcoming comic graphic novel debut. And man, this is going to be something you want to mark on the calendars. More news is going to be breaking about this, but if you're at the con, you definitely got to swing by and see what they have going on. This panel is going to be taking place Saturday, July 25th, 5:30. Man, Danny Trejo coming to comics in this form.
Yeah, and while we're at it, we just want to, if you are going to be attending San Diego Comic-Con this year, also on Saturday, the July 25th, at the PCB Productions booth, which is booth number 4039, from 12:30 to 2:30, Danny Trejo will be signing.
Yes.
So there's a big one. Go meet Danny Trejo. This is awesome news. I think this is going to be great. Peek behind the curtain when we got the press release, we got to see a little bit of some test art and stuff like that. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
This is going to be dope.
This is going to be one you want to really keep an eye on for. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of news coming out of San Diego about this book, and rightfully so. Knowing the team behind this, Listen, if you're not familiar with what PCB has been up to, man, get familiar quick. So also another publisher we definitely have to shout out, Mad Cave Studios.
Oh, I love Bad Cave Studios, and they have some really cool stuff going down. Kicking off for them on Thursday, July 23rd, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. The panel is called Descend into Madness, Exploring Horror Through Comics. Of course, you know me, I love to talk horror, and we're getting a lot here. This is when you talk about an all-star panel, here we go. Dan Panosian will be there. Becky Cloonan will be there. Lee Kilpatrick will be there, as well as Mark London, Tula Latoy, Scott Snyder, and of course, Mark Russell will all be on the panel. And they are also promising possibly some new spoils and surprises. I'm surprised mostly because we're getting Scott Snyder there. Knowing what Bad Cave Studios has been up to recently, this could be something new that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
So you want to stay tuned to this because they've got a hell of a lineup coming for this one.
Yeah. So you definitely don't want to miss what's going on here. And then Friday, John Cusack.
Yeah, that John Cusack.
As in the John Cusack, showcases the surreal world of Momo. So John will be discussing his first graphic novel, Momo, with fellow actor and comic creator David Delshman. So this is going to be a really interesting conversation. Like I said, the book is, like I said, from what I've seen of it, just from the little snippets, this looks very, very interesting.
It looks really, really cool. I can't wait to see it. I love the fact that John Cusack is going to dive into the world of graphic novels and comics. And, although I will say this, be careful, Mr. John Cusack. Last time I saw David Dastmalchian doing any kind of like interview stuff, that was Late Night with the Devil. So be careful. That ended really wild. Hopefully that doesn't happen at San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, two really creative people who are doing really cool things. Well, obviously David Dastmalchian has done some really cool work in the comic book realm. And seeing John Cusack show, like I said, everything I've seen looks good on this. Mad Cave, I think, has another big win on their hands with this book as well.
Yeah, Mad Cave and all their affiliates there are really doing amazing work. So if you haven't checked out their line, man, what are you waiting for? Mad Cave is just exploding on the scene right now, and rightfully so. Their books just don't miss.
I could spend like 2 hours talking about all the books you should be reading from Mad Cave because, trust me, I have a list of them. But I will spare everybody. Check out this panel, see what's going on there, or well, both the panels, because trust me, they're doing really, really cool things over there, and you're going to want to be a part of that. Moving along, though, we have another publisher moving to Dark Horse.
Yes.
Dark Horse has got a big thing going down on Saturday, July 26th. And I mean a big thing because at 10 a.m. in the morning, that is a Pacific time, Dark Horse star-powered storytelling.
Yes.
Now, you would say that might just be a name. Well, I would say you're wrong, as Emmy and Grammy Award-winning comedian, actor, and writer Patton Oswalt and fellow actor David Dastmalchian have both beloved fan favorite creations, and they will be in the house as well as Jordan Blum and a slew of to be announced.
Yeah.
and I'm being nice because they have not said who, but when you start off and you say these two guys are going to be there,
I mean, listen, that sells it alone.
Where are we going next? And when you use the word slew, I feel like that means you should make sure you're checking this out. Listen, the Minor Threats universe is tremendous. I know both of us are enjoying it. By the way, Kingdom of Earth just launched this past week as we are recording this before San Diego Comic-Con. That's David Dastmalchian's new book that he's doing for Dark Horse. Listen, really good first issue there. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. And like I said, Minor Threats. How do you miss with Minor Threats? And remember what I said before. You know you've made it when you've crossed over with Archie.
Yes.
Minor Threats did that.
Minor Threats is just a fantastic universe top to bottom. Like you like I say, you get sucked in that first story, and then let alone all the spinoffs they've done. Top level storytelling on every single ranking you want to do. I could sit here and just praise the entire line because it has literally been such an excellent journey to go where this story has gone. And like I say, I'm expecting to hear some more news about what they have cooking over there as well. Dark Horse just has a great weekend of panels too, from Dungeons and Dragons and comics to going about the Black Hammer 10th anniversary celebration. They have a great Avatar panel going on too, and Usagi Yojima with Stan Sakai talking about 40 plus years of creating the beloved comics series. And then Dark Horse Comics is closing up shop on Sunday, 40 years of comic nerds. So this is to celebrate 40 years with a showcase of creator-owned comics, licensed titles, and fan favorite products. Like, this is just to celebrate the indie comics and what they've done. Dark Horse has always been, a pillar of indie comics and what it really represents, the incredible storytelling and top to bottom production that they have coming out with these books. Like, you can't miss it. Make sure you're stopping by their booths. Make sure you're stopping by those panels and supporting these books.
Absolutely. This is some really cool stuff, and you're going to want to make sure you're a part of it. But you're also going to want to make sure you're a part of what's coming next. And listen, not to float our own boat, but if you want to hear more about what's coming next, we did do an interview with both David Steinberger and Chip Mosier right here on Fanlight Zone Presents. So go check that out, because Neon Ichiban is showing up to San Diego Comic-Con in a huge way,
monster way,
huge way. And it all starts on Thursday, July 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And this one is really harkens back to some of the things that we kind of chatted about, but expanding on them, as David Steinberger and Chip Mosier will be talking more Neon Ichiban. They will be joined by guests such as Jock, Martin Simmons, Jordan Blum, Heath Corson, and Bjorn Behrens. And as they're talking about this, they're going to be talking about the variant cover launch, the expansion, of the variant cover launch, the demonstration of the sketch in real time.
Yeah.
So that's going to be dope to see. I got to see that at New York Comic Con, so did Ken last year.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And it's cool to see that in real time. That's going to be going on while the panel's going on. But this is the big one. 24/7 Artist Alley launching to Neon Ichiban.
Yeah. To say that they are pushing the boundaries of what it is in the digital comic market is an understatement. They are so forward thinking about the community aspect, and especially about how it benefits not only the fans, but the creators themselves. This is an ambitious statement of what they're doing. I am all in about whatever they do, because Neon Ichiban as a user, I think it's phenomenal. I can't sing the praises enough. The remarks has just been an incredible thing too. So to see what they're going to do here, you have to be in attendance for. Like, you just have to. And make sure you're signed up for Neon Ichiban. If you haven't done that already, listen, is a great service to be a part of.
Yeah, and they're going back to back on Saturday as well, 1:30 to 2:30. For the first one, that'll be Welcome to the Future of Digital Comics. That is more like we're showing off some new things on Friday, but on Saturday they're showing off basically where we are at Neon Ichiban 2.5. So that is the newest update to Neon Ichiban. Some of us had the beta a little early, but now that is pretty much completely launched across the board. I do believe everybody now has it. But now they're just going in and kind of going and explaining some things, like kind of like I said, with our conversation with them, it's kind of more of an expanded, where it's like, here's how remarks work, here's how this works. Chris Ross is going to be moderating that one, and then because he's the head of remarks for Neon Ichiban, so they're going to focus on that. And then right after that, pretty much an hour later, 3:30 to 4:30, they're going to be doing another one that's the future of digital remarks. And this is where they're going to unveil something that they're teasing. It is, and go into further detail, they are changing the remarks game again.
Yeah, which
and all that is promised here is that the evolution is going to be the next step. You heard 24/7 Artist Alley. You know what they're, if you've already been familiar, like I said, check out our interview and check out everything else you can find. Go on Neon Ichiban. I love the platform as well. And you've already seen that. Now they're telling us we're going to the next level. They will have Sue Lee there as well. And she will be actually showing off one of the new remark techniques that is under wraps until San Diego Comic-Con. That is dope.
Yeah, like everything they have going on, and especially like outside of the panels, go by their booth. They have special things happening there. And really, I can't stress it enough of how much they have changed how we look at digital comics, and let alone like the Distillery brand is just phenomenal storytelling right now. If you haven't seen what the books they've had out lately, let's not even get into the whole back catalog. Like I say, I'm excited to talk about this when I start messing up the words. And that is exactly what's happening here, because they have so many incredible stories that fans that are looking for something unique and different, all they have to do is go look at Distillery. And then you think about what they do with Neon Ichiban and the connection they're doing with fans and creators and building that community in this digital age. To say it's impactful is not doing enough justice. This is something truly special. You want to make sure you're going by their booth constantly, see what they have going on, because I know that they have a lot more going on outside of the panels, but the panels alone are going to be fun to go to and really give you a true glimpse of the future of comics.
And if any indication is from past convention appearances, you're going to want to show up because they are one of the people who do giveaways. They did giveaways in New York as well. So if they're showing something off, there's a possibility if you swing by, you might get a taste of your own of what they're showing off. They do tremendous work. Once again, if you are on the fence about reading a digital comic, Neon Ichiban will take that away because it is a tremendous platform to read your digital comics.
Absolutely. And next up, a good friend of ours is coming with a monster panel, Headlock Comics and Master Republic, taking wrestling beyond the ring. Rich, how excited are you for this?
Oh, I'm super pumped. Our good friend Kevin Kleinrock, along with Michael Kingston, and then joined by Jorge Gutierrez and Jeff Ever. We'll be talking with Busted Open Radios and professional wrestling personality Denise Salcedo about all things Headlocked and Master Republic. And if you know anything, they have brought comic books and wrestling together like no other.
Yep.
And they're coming to San Diego Comic-Con, not just because it's fun to talk wrestling and not because it's just fun to talk comics, which I love doing both. So I understand wanting to show up for that. No. They're showing up because they are putting out there some great upcoming projects.
Yes.
Where they'll not only be collaborating with great artists, great writers, but also big major names in professional wrestling. Stay tuned to this one. If you like pro wrestling and you like comic books, they're going to scratch that itch big time on this panel.
It's never a disappointing panel to attend. We've had the pleasure of going to it, and this is a fun one. This is something for the wrestling fans and the comic fans, and to see that synergy come together, it's a beautiful thing. So, and what they do with, like Michael Kingston does, amazing work. So you definitely want to go support everything going on there. Master Republic, they just don't miss either. They're just phenomenal. And this is going to be one circle on the calendar. Definitely make sure you're in attendance for that on Thursday.
Absolutely.
And then we're talking another line that has really exploded, Comixology. They have got a loaded weekend of panels. Literally Thursday is a monster day for them, starting at 11 a.m. with Dan Panosian. Lori Affey and Sue Lee are going to be there discussing the process of drawing and coloring the visual of some of the hottest comics available today. So it's going to be a great conversation piece about creating comics. You don't want to miss that. And then you go back to back on Thursday with, how the professionals got into this with Kim Joy, Mark Guggenheim, Paul Cornell, Gary Phillips, Mark Bernardin, and Kurt Pierce is going to be there too as well. So they're going to be talking about what got them into comics and just really hearing about how they transition from being fans into creators. That I always think is a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, not to mention, like, when you're going through it, if you notice, a lot of them started off in different like major fields as well, and it's really kind of cool. How do you transfer what you were doing over here into being a comic book writer or artist, or a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B? And I think this is really kind of cool, because if you're somebody who might be thinking about becoming a writer, artist, or anything in the comic industry, I would like to hear from people who, hey, I took that dive. This is how I did it. So this is a really, really cool one for me.
And then on Friday, Comixology and Superfan Promotions, Origin Stories. This is going to be a fun panel. So some of the most prolific creators of our time, including Emmy award-winning writer and producer Mark Guggenheim, colorist Lee Loridge, and acclaimed artist Mars Jr., writer Omar Morales, from Major Tomas, and Michael Conrad are going to be going down memory lane to talk about their youth and reminisce about the cartoons and comics they loved. Moderated by David Hyde. So this is going to be an exceptional panel. You want to be in attendance for it. This is going to be high energy. This is going to be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't take that to more.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be, and once again, that's another one where you're going to get to see like something that goes behind the scenes. It's not just of the comic books that come out or the great works that they've done, but what inspired that. And that, once again, as somebody who, might want to be in that line of work, it's always great to see. But then we have to go to Image Comics.
Yeah.
And boy, Image Comics is showing up and showing out. And that's not even including like the 1.5 million things that they have, in the side stuff. We're just talking about some of the great things they have going on. And they kick their lineup off on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. with Image Comics. Comics characters fans will love or hate, or love to hate.
Love the title.
I do love the title. So guests on this will be Matthew Rosenberg, Patrick Kindlin, John Lehman, Rob Gilroy, Tony Fleeks, and Dustin Wynn. And they're going to jump in and talk about some of the great things that they're doing. And all of them have amazing creator-owned books out right now, not to mention a litany of them before. But if you're not reading some of the stuff they're doing, oh boy, you need to start now.
Yeah. I mean, to go over all the books that they have done and have coming out, like, trust me, this is going to be a conversation you don't want to miss, especially diving in about their characters, and especially if they're going to the ones that you will love to hate. I am very curious about a couple of them that they're going to be talking about. So this is going to be a great panel to go with.
And by the way, I just want to point this out. Looking at the list of guests, it's going to be an entertaining panel as well.
Oh, yes.
Because everybody everybody on this list is tremendous. You're going to want to check this out. You're going to be highly entertained. But Ken, speaking of highly entertained, when you hear somebody speak,
yes,
I don't think anybody, maybe one or two people might top this person, but I don't think there's many.
No, 1 p.m. Thursday, Robert Kirkman live.
Enough said.
Do I need to say more? I'll say a little bit more. They're saying this is the biggest Robert Kirkman panel yet. From Invincible to Terminal, his brand new series coming out, to Void Rivals and the expanding vision for Transformers and Skybound and Hasbro's Energon universe, Robert Kirkman pulls back the curtain on it all. So you never know what's going to happen here, but trust us, this is going to be one of the most entertaining panels the entire weekend.
I will tell you this, as not just somebody who does content creation or reporting or reviews or whatever, you want to lump us into in the world of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan, I will tell you, if I see Robert Kirkman is scheduled to do a panel or scheduled to speak, I go because it's always entertaining.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't joking about there's 2 or 3 people that I instantly will drop what I'm doing in a day in the comics business to go listen to them speak. And not just because the stories are going to tell, just for pure entertainment.
Yes.
And Robert Kirkman is that. Robert Kirkman is every bit of a showman as he is an amazing creator. And I can't wait for Terminal. I know a lot of us can't, as well as all the amazing works. Like, how do you go from some of the greatest selling creator-owned things of all time, Walking Dead, Invincible, etc., to launching one of the biggest franchise universes in the Energon universe,
mm-hmm.
to now expanding even more? Like, honestly, once again, I can't stress enough. A lot of times when you go to panels, you go A, to be entertained, B, to be informed. But C, if you're somebody who is maybe thinking about wanting to get into the world of comic books, whether it's writing, art, lettering, coloring, whatever you want to do, editing, I don't care what it is, you are going to want to hear somebody like Robert Kirkman talk, because that shows you that it's attainable. And he's the first to tell you that if you work hard enough at it and you come up and you keep doing it and you keep pushing forward, you can succeed. And that's one of the biggest things, that not only is he entertaining, he's super inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we go Friday.
Near and dear to your heart.
This is listen, if we're talking Massiverse, I am going to be speaking about it all day, every day. Comics' most exciting line is back with a panel, and they always come with it at San Diego. So 10:30 Friday, Kyle Higgins, Brian Bruciolato, Melissa Flores, and Ryan Parrott, amongst others, are sharing new developments and announcements in store for the Massiverse this year and next. Okay, that's all. I love this because that's all they need to say. If you are caught up on this universe, they bring it each and every time. And what's been going on in Radiant Black alone lately? Yeah, mic drop. And listen, you want to talk about people that really have the pulse of the fans in this, modern era. Nobody does it better than the Massiverse. Kyle Higgins is a genius when it comes to connecting with it, whether it's the Discord, the YouTube shows every Monday night on their channel, which is always entertaining. Him and Michael Bassitto are just fantastic in it. If you really want to know what they have going on in this universe, you go to it. And then let alone the panelists on here are going to be just amazing. Every time we get a chance to go see them, they always bring it. They always have something special for the fans. So if you're wanting to get into this universe because you hear about Radiant Black and Rogue Sun and all the other amazing characters involved in this, now is the perfect time to go. Go to this panel. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely. And you know what? We've talked about a lot of great writers. We've talked about a lot of great creators. But we haven't yet talked about a massive amount of artists.
Yeah.
But don't worry. Image has got you covered on Friday, as from noon to 1 p.m., Image Comics presents Artists Unleashed.
Yeah.
And I love the title, but I love even more the slew of artists. Ready for them, Ken? Because I'm gonna name them all, because this is great.
Let's go.
You got Daniel Warren Johnson. You got Scotty Young. You got Ian Bertram. You've got Casper Wengard. You've got Sanford Green. And last but not least, Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah.
I mean, no big deal on this panel. Not just, I don't know, 5 of the best artists on the planet.
To say heavy hitters is an understatement. This is some of the best in the business, bar none. And this is going to be a phenomenal conversation. I can't wait to hear what they're going to be talking about the creative process. Like, this is going to be just something, if you really want to know what goes into some of the most amazing images you see in comics, this is going to be one you want to go attend.
Absolutely. And another one that's going to be super entertaining, because when you get Daniel Warren Johnson, Scotty Young together, oh boy.
Yeah.
You're going to have some fun in that one.
There's going to be some fun ones. But one that, like, listen, you want to talk about legendary panels, 4:15, Friday, July 24th. If you're not in attendance for this, you better have a good reason. Join Image Comics founders and partners Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, Robert Kirkman, and Eric Stevenson for an unforgettable conversation about how they revolutionized the comic industry. And here's untold stories and the risks they took. And I don't think this needs to have anything more said than Kirkman, McFarlane, Liefeld, Silvestri, Stevenson.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, go.
Yeah.
The amount of incredible stories you're going to hear about comics and what they did to revolutionize the industry, it's going to be historic. Like, trying to give a proper adjective to say about how amazing this is going to be is I'm struggling, because this is going to be a conversation that's going to absolutely just leave you speechless. It's going to just energize you as a fan, and really just to sit there and hear them all talk about their stories is going to be a monumental event. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can top that. If you're not going to this one, I don't know what you're doing.
you better have a great excuse for it.
This one is if I was in attendance, this is the one that I'm making sure I'm at.
Dare I say, like, I know
I'm excited for a lot of them, but this is the one that I'm like, I'm there.
This is in Hall H, but this feels like a Hall H panel.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just saying.
This is a legendary panel. But let's move on to Saturday.
Yes.
Let's move on to Saturday now. July 25th, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Image Comics, storytelling, genre, and crafting unforgettable comics. Listen, this is going to be one hell of a one as well. Jeff Johns, Jason Fabek, Chris Condon, Wes Craig, and Tyler Kirkham will all be in attendance for this one. And they will be talking about what they've got going on currently and what they've done in the past and what's coming in the future.
A lot of excitement going on with Tyler Kirkham, Final Boss. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. Ghost Machine is represented with Jeff Johns and Jason Fabek. Like, there's a lot that's going to be happening there. So this is going to be a really cool conversation to go hear.
Yeah. Chris Condon there, that Texas Blood is returned. Yep. So that's even better. You know, like, there's some really cool stuff. And probably, I would say, a lot of teases for what's to come.
Yeah. Same thing with Wes Craig and Kaya. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Next up, though, we got Top Cow in the house. Top Cow is doing big things at 11 a.m. It's Top Cow 2026 and beyond. Joining this one, of course, Mark Silvestri will be in there for it, and Matt Hawkins, Stepan Sajek and Linda Sajek, and then Simon Burks and Henry Barajas, as well as Marguerite Bennett, will be talking about what they've got coming up. I mean, listen, you had me at Witchblade and Sunstone and everything else going on there in the room. We're good.
Yeah. Right now, if you haven't checked out the current series of Witchblade and the Darkness.
Darkness. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, everything going on there. I know Joey right now from So Wizard is marking out, and rightfully so. Like, if you read these titles way back when, which I like I say, I date myself, but like, listen, it is what it is. I remember growing up with these, and they were phenomenal. And to see what they're doing now and recapturing that magic, and it's so hard to do, but they're doing it flawlessly. And these books are really just kicking ass. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say it. Top Cow is doing some fantastic stuff. So this is going to be really a panel you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I would put that. This one would be another one on the top tier, because, like, literally there's some really amazing creators, but secondly, like, the books that they're putting out, like, yeah. Like I said, you had me. I mean, you named off a lot better, but you have me at Witchblade. After that, it's like all of it's just bonus work.
Yes,
it's literally like, let's just go bonus work, because the Darkness also tremendous. But, like, let's be honest, it's like everything else icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And then Image Comics, the last one we have listed here, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. We got Image Comics, the future of comics. I wonder what they're trying to tell us, Ken. I don't know. But Doug Wagner will be there. You know him from Narco, which, by the way, phenomenal book. Michael Walsh, you know him from the Exquisite Corpse World. Tyler Boss, and then Kurt Pierce and Jonathan Ball. By the way, every one of them doing an amazing book right now. Also amazing books prior.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's called. It's called The Future of Comics, Ken. What do you think they're going to talk about?
Well, they must have some stuff that we don't know about, but we're going to need to know about. And like I say, a lot of these series have really been coming out and making a lot of noise. I know what's going on in the Lost Fantasy verse, if I can call it that, but Lost Fantasy spinning off into Fireborn, that has been, you want to talk about a roller coaster ride, that has been in a magnificent series. And what they've spun off the Fireborn is just nonstop adrenaline going. It is a great read. Then you talk about Rascal Randy, what Tyler Boss has been doing. Tyler's been crushing it. Amazing. So this is going to be one you really want to find out what's taking place. So definitely make sure you have that circled on your calendar as well. And then going into 4:30, listen, when you hear Skybound mentioned on a panel, you go to it. You just go. It's a reflex. But let alone when you hear Transformers and G.I. Joe, the Energon universe is unstoppable. So if they're talking Energon universe, go early and make sure to write notes, because you're not going to want to miss all the details dropping of what is literally become just a movement in comics, because what they have done in the worlds of Transformers, G.I. Joe, now Mask added to the forte, and Void Rivals, like they just keep revolutionizing the way we're looking at these classic characters and bringing them into this modern era. And the next phase of the Energon universe is here. Robert Kirkman, Joshua Williamson, Connor Hughes, and Sean Makowitz are all going to be talking about what's coming next for this shared universe.
Remember when I said you go whenever you see Robert Kirkman, you also go whenever you see Energon universe listed.
Yeah.
Because it's always a great panel. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's always informative.
Yes. So need we say more? Yeah. And Images also got a great panel too, with the next wave of comic storytelling going on too. Images just loaded on Saturday.
Oh yeah, if there's something for a little bit of something for everybody, and like I said, I'm very happy. I've always loved Image Comics, and they keep just upping the ante, and they're having a big, huge showing at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm here for that.
Yes,
I'm here for that. But Ken, we've talked about everybody else. I think it's now time to talk about the big two.
Yes, indeed. So kicking off is going to be the one that really is dominating everything right now, and that's DC Comics. So 11:30 a.m. Jim Lee and Friends. So Jim Lee is on hand to bring out a few of his friends for discussion and reveal what everyone's going to be talking long after the con. You don't want to miss this. Listen, it's as advertised. Jim Lee brings out some surprise guests, and there is news that's going to shock you and make you run to the comic shops and ask when the pre-orders are there. So definitely you don't want to miss this.
This is always a big one for DC, whether it's San Diego or New York, because he does it in both, and it always pays off. Like if you want to know what DC is doing as a whole, you're going to find out some cool stuff here. I guarantee it.
And then next up, 3:30 p.m. Batman Cape Crusader Season 2 advanced screening and Q&A with the cast and crew. So return to Gotham City for the world premiere of the first episode of Batman Cape Crusader Season 2, followed by a Q&A with the members of the voice cast and creative minds behind the animated noir series, coming to Prime Video July 31st. So if you have not checked out this series, I strongly recommend you do. If you are a fan of Batman the Animated Series, which I think is, the pinnacle of superhero animation, this is a great homage to it. It's not the same, but it carries a lot of the same tones to it. And season 1 was extraordinary. I really love season 1. I can't wait to check out season 2. And this is one, if you haven't checked it out, like I say, you're really going to want to know about, and especially with the productions crews involved with this. So this is J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot Productions, Matt Reeves, Six in Idaho. And Bruce Timm, like they're all connected to this. Like this is going to be one you want to go check out. So definitely keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely. And if you find yourself like me, a gigantic Batman mark, not only do you want to check out Batman Cape Crusader, because you get to see the first episode of the second season, which, listen, I'm jealous already. But on Friday at 11:15, you're going to want to make sure you are there for DC's Gotham City, as let's just say they are putting together an all-star collection of creators for Batman currently. Some of the panelists will include G. Willow Wilson, Matt Fraction, Tom Taylor, Tate Brumble, Christopher Cantwell, and some young kid known as Scott Snyder. They are all going to be talking about what they're working on in the greater Batman universe. And I was a gigantic Batman fan myself, and also Ken, I would count you amongst that as well as covering most of these books. I know you're super excited about what we have going and what the future of the Cape Crusader truly is.
They have a lot of things happening. Like I say, with Matt Fraction's Batman, that has been an interesting take on the Cape Crusader, to say. Detective Comics, listen, what Tom Taylor and Michael Jenna have been doing in that run has just been amazing work, top to bottom. And the current story arc is absolutely wild, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out. And to think about, obviously, you talk Batman and Absolute Batman, it's in a category all itself. But what Scott Snyder has done in Bruce Wayne's life, listen, it is legendary. To see what they're going to be talking about, along with G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy's book, which has been very, very good as well. Like I say, the stuff they have coming on, especially the events unfolding right now in the Batverse, if I can call it that. Listen, you want to make sure you're in attendance for it. This is going to be a great panel.
Yeah, that was, believe it or not, and this is not taking away from anybody else, because I do obviously love everybody's work. Early Matt Fraction's run right now is wild.
Yeah.
If you're not watching, if you're not paying attention to that. But I was really more intrigued and interested to see what G. Willow Wilson's going to talk about, because Poison Ivy is really good. But on top of that, like, everybody else is writing a mainline Batman story. So this is kind of one of those times where you go, you're going to get something cool here.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm not saying, it's just, I'm just projecting, because you have to at that point. But you know what else? You're going to get something cool at 12:30. You're going to get something cool as well, because DC's Next Level, you know, what they announced last year at New York Comic Con, what took the world by storm, especially after All In, and then of course KO. And now we're now going into, I do believe, the second shift. They're shifting into second gear now, and there is a lot of cool things going on here. Joshua Will Williamson will be there. Hayden Sherman, both of them doing a Legion of Superheroes. That's going to be dope. Kyle Higgins, as well as Michael Walsh and Jerry Dugan, and it'll be moderated by the DC senior editor, Andrew Marino. So this is going to be a really informative. I know that at New York Comic Con last year, they made a huge announcement when they announced DC Next Level. They brought up a lot of things. They're saying there's more to be announced here, that there's some surprises. Do you think that this next level to DC's Next Level is going to be huge?
I think what you have to realize is what DC is doing outside of the Absolute universe, because that's a whole different ball game right now. But what they've done with Next Level is they've reintroduced characters that fans might have forgotten about, or really thought, okay, these characters deserve a spotlight to tell their stories, and they've allowed creators to run with it. And that is something that in this day and age in comics, I love seeing it, because it's such a fresh take. Like, you think about what's going on in the pages of Deathstroke, Lobo, Batwoman, and those series have been absolutely great on their own. But to see what they're doing now, especially the Legion of Superheroes, which I think is one of the most fascinating franchises when it's done great, and the team they have on it, listen, what Joshua and Hayden have coming is going to be just incredible. Like, just the little stuff we've seen snippets of on the press releases, like, that has been just amazing stuff. So I'm excited to see what they have in that future. I think that's probably the biggest one that is creating a lot of buzz, seeing who's connected to it. Kyle Higgins on Teen Titans, and seeing that lineup and what's taking place there, let alone there's other people going to be coming to this. So, I mean, Brittany Holzer and Andrew Marino are going to have their hands full as moderators, to say the least, because I guarantee we're going to have some surprise guests. They're going to finally announce maybe some more books that are coming out, because I know there's a lot of rumors in the air. It's hard to say who is going to be connected to it, but I guarantee you this one is going to be generating probably the biggest buzz of the weekend. And that's saying something in San Diego.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, as far as comic books go, this is going to be the big one.
Yeah. And then you jump ahead a little bit to Saturday, keeping it about the comics. And right now, 11:15 in the a.m. on Saturday, Metropolis and Beyond. So taking a look at the Superman line, and like I say, quoting as we've been doing from all the press releases, DC's creators gather for a conversation about Superman, the next phase of DC All-In Comics, and what's on the horizon for the heroes who soar far beyond Metropolis. Panelists include Joshua Williamson, Mark Waid, Tom King, Stephanie Williams, Jeremy Adams, Morgan Hampton, Nicole Maines, and more. Then this could be moderated by Paul Kaminsky. So what is going on in the Superman line is really, really great work right now. I think that Joshua Williamson's Superman run is going to go down as one of the most legendary runs of all time. I think just for what he's done about capturing the essence of Superman and really giving it a fresh take. And especially like what he did originally with the beginning with him and Lex Luthor and how complicated that relationship's been, to now coming out of the events of DCKO and what he has done, which I mean, it's a gamble, but man, has it paid off with Superboy Prime. That has been amazing. And I think that more fans are talking about the word of mouth is there. Like every time when we drop a review about it, I'm always getting a lot of feedback about that from our audience and just fans just saying, like, are you really believing like this is working? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, Williamson has always been a top level creator, but to see what it's been going on with Superman, like people are really putting in that kind of iconic run. And I think so. I think him and Dan Moore and the other artists have been involved with the book have been just knocking it out of the park. Then let alone the rest of the lineup here. I tell you what, I can't wait to see who's connected and new projects coming out, because I think Superman right now, that line has just been crushing it, and to see the names that have been connected, I can't wait.
And we're not even done because we have to round out the comic book section, just the comic book section for DC with at 12:30. They have the Absolute Universe.
Yeah.
So the hottest universe in all of comics, I would say, is got its own panel. And oh boy, they're coming with the big guns. Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta from Absolute Batman will be there. Hayden Sherman from Absolute Wonder Woman will be there. Jeff Lemire from Absolute Flash. Shea Grayson from Absolute Catwoman and Porncheck Pikachu and Raphael Albuquerque from Absolute Green Arrow will be there. By the way, Absolute Green Arrow, if you're not reading that, oh my Lord.
And it just got extended past 6 issues.
Yes, because, and rightfully so.
Yeah, listen,
wow.
I know Absolute Batman's been getting a lot of the praise, and rightfully so, but Absolute Green Arrow is giving it a run for the money. I know that it's very polarizing amongst diehard Oliver Queen fans, but we have to remember the Absolute Universe is all about giving unique takes on the classic characters.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they've done with the series. Like, this has been such a refreshing take, and doing the whole murder mystery and what, without, I so worry about saying anything spoilers because I really want people to go pick up this book wherever you can find it. It has just been knocking out of the park, and I can't wait to hear more about this. So, and who knows? I mean, maybe we'll hear about some more additions. I don't know. Like I say, when they say more is coming, obviously a lot of fans are speculating about, characters they'd love to see there. And this is going to be the place to find out about it, because there is no hotter line in comics in the Absolute Universe. None.
I would dare say that it is the hottest lineup. And I will say this, I would be the person to say Absolute Batman kind of revolutionized what we're going through in this little spark. And we know everybody's crediting with that as it deserves. I think that we're going to look back and when the argument goes down, if it continues to be the way it is, this Absolute Green Arrow has perfected it. Because, oh man, like what the vision was to do Absolute Batman in the Absolute Universe, I think they really ran with Absolute Green Arrow. Not to be outdone, because if you have been reading Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Catwoman, tremendous as well. Mm-hmm. But man, for my money right now, Absolute Green Arrow is probably my favorite book. And I would never have thought in my life that a Green Arrow book was going to be one of my favorite books every month.
Listen, I tell you, everything they've done has just been really changing the game, mm-hmm. as far as the characters we know and these classic characters. So I'm excited to hear what they have coming out, and more about teases about characters that you were going to see introduced in these stories, because it's crazy to think that we're getting near that 2-year mark for the Absolute Universe.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane to think how fast time's flying. But that's the beauty of comics, folks. You get caught up in the stories and the years go past. Last but certainly not least, though, like I say, DC had a loaded lineup, but the House of Ideas, who's making a lot of noise, they're definitely coming to San Diego with arguably their biggest crossover event, I should say, happening, Avengers Armageddon. So Marvel Comics on Thursday, July 23rd, 1:45 p.m. Armageddon is here. The Red Hulk has conquered Latveria and set the sight on world domination, and only the Avengers can stop him, but at what cost? So this is going to be a discussion about the event that's happening, with that whole storyline and the future of the Avengers. So if you haven't been checking out what Chip Zdarsky's been writing in both that and Captain America, you really want to be in attendance for this, because, I mean, we just read issue number 2, and wow, there is things happening, to say the least.
Listen, I'll say this: we were waiting for, and I'm saying this as all fans. We were waiting for kind of a response from Marvel after the Absolute Universe has done what it's done, and Armageddon might be go after seeing issue 2, especially Armageddon might be that answer. We'll find out. Once again, I'm interested in keeping my eyes on this panel in particular for Marvel, just because I after issue 2, having the first issue, you're like, oh, okay, that's different. Issue 2, you're like, okay, I'm a lot more invested. I want to see where they're going.
Yeah,
personally,
absolutely.
So I'm going to be invested in that one big time.
Yeah, and then Friday the 24th at 2:15, Marvel Comics to screen X-Men 97. Obviously, the biggest streaming show on television right now is back in a monster way. X-Men 97 season 2 has been crushing it. So they're talking about special guests to do a deep dive about the season, insider insights, and a lot of cool things that are happening. And if you haven't checked out the season, like, listen, if you grew up in that era of comics, this is such a refreshing take. And it really is taking arguably one of the best eras of the X-Men stories and bringing them to just this cool re-envisioning. And I love seeing it. I love seeing X-Force on there. And like, listen, episode 2, where you will not hear Veruca Salt, Volcano Girls, in the same light after watching that episode. I tell you what, it was fantastic.
Absolutely. They've been doing such a great job with X-Men 97 and on all fronts. So I can't wait to see this one. But then also on Friday at 3:30, it's the big one for Marvel. Each and every time you go to a convention and you see Marvel Comics next big thing listed, that is the panel to make sure you go to, because that is where they make announcements and things happen. And we expect that to be the big one here. Obviously, Armageddon's getting its own panel. However, I'm sure they're also going to talk about it there, as well as some other things that they would be launching.
Yep. Obviously, it's coming around. Amazing Spider-Man 1000.
That's true.
Infernal Hulk has got a lot of things going on with that. DNX, which has been the big X-Men storyline teasing in the pages of the adjectiveless X-Men book. And then Queen in Black. So, I mean, Marvel has a lot of stuff going on, which they're definitely going to be diving into. And they always refer to this as their Hall H moment, even though it's not Hall H, but it's the Hall H for comics. They always come with something huge at these events. So you want to make sure you're there. And with most Marvel panels too, they're doing a special giveaway.
I know. I was just about to say it. We never mentioned it already, but when you go to Marvel panels, they always usually list, and they do list on here that there will be a special giveaway if you are there in addition at the panel.
Yes. So the comic ones, you definitely are going to get something special. So you really want to make sure you're in attendance for that. And then if we're talking about comics, the big one that's capping off their calendar, in my opinion, is Marvel Comics Midnight Universe. So this is Saturday, 1:45. And this is the one that has really generated a lot of question marks.
As the horror guy, as the resident horror guy here at FanLight Zone, I am excited for this because we found out that Midnight is going to be basically horror-centric versions of characters that we know and love. And not in the way that, maybe we've done before with Marvel Zombies and such, a different way. It has been very tight-lipped. We've gotten some teasers, but very tight-lipped other than like, what is it really going to be? And guess what? I think we're going to find out at San Diego Comic-Con on this panel. So this is another one that I have highlighted because I want to know more about the Midnight Universe.
Yeah.
We do know a little bit about it. We've heard the Fantastic Four will be involved. We've heard Spider-Man will be involved. X-Men will be involved. They're doing some of the bigger things. And we've had the teases that it's going to, Philip Kennedy Johnson has said, and a bunch of like his talking points, whether it was him being live or on interviews, he has said that it's going to be horror, but not in the ways that we're thinking. It's going to be traditional horror mixed with superheroes.
Yeah.
And I was sold at horror, and now we're going to get more. I think we're going to get what it is. And I'm excited for this. I am gigantically excited for this.
I am too. I mean, this has been a very polarizing, I guess, announcement, because fans are really curious to see when you see about the classic heroes get put in this genre. How is this all going to play out? Because you don't think about Spider-Man and horror a lot, but it does happen. So to see them really run with this, so just using him for an example, it's going to be an interesting book, to say the least. So I'm excited to hear, but the creative teams announced for this, are really going to be bringing it. And especially if they're allowed to really kind of cut loose on this, which I think that Marvel's saying, yeah, let's have some fun with this. And to see when they do this, I mean, you take a look at, and I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but like with the Ultimates universe, you know, to see what Dennis Camp did over there and what you see about Ultimate X-Men with Peach Momoko. Like you see books like that really run with it and see how fans gravitate towards them. I really think you're going to see the same kind of vibe, but obviously different story elements here.
Absolutely not. Like I said, and it's not any shade at Marvel Zombies because I love Marvel Zombies, but like to hear that, hey, we're not doing that, we're doing something different is also really cool. So I can't wait to hear that. And also, I want to point out this is the one that they're saying that you are getting an exclusive black and white Ashcan edition preview of the Midnight Universe.
Yeah,
they are actually telling you what you are getting for attending.
Yeah.
So if you have any interest at all and you're at San Diego Comic-Con, get to this panel because they're going to give you something really, really cool. And I can't wait to see what that looks like because obviously we'll be seeing it coming out of San Diego. So I'm that's one of the ones I'm on bated breath. But I know that we teased and we might as well go back to it. We got some Hall H stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
That deals with comics adjacent.
There was 2 panels that really jumped out for the comics side of things. So definitely want to touch upon them. First off, we're going to go back to DC for a quick minute because one of the largest buzzed shows that is coming out is Lanterns. So on Friday, 1:30 p.m. at Hall H, Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre are going to be there and unite with Garrett Dillahunt and Purna Jangathan. Apologize if I messed the name up. Chris Mundy and Damian Lindoff and Tom King. So they're going to be talking about the brand new Lantern series. I know there's some wild speculation about who is connected in this. We know that Kyle Chandler is playing Hal Jordan. Aaron Pierre is playing John Stewart. That's all we really know. So any kind of other speculation, I'm leaving at that because I've heard a lot of wild takes that have been circulating the internet. And quite frankly, I don't want to know. I want to watch the show and see how it plays out. So I'm going in with that excitement. I'm not going to lose my mind if, you know, something's not perfect in the trailers they've shown because they want to keep this under wraps, and rightfully so. This is going to have a different vibe than what we've seen from the James Gunn era of productions. And I'm really digging about what we're seeing thus far. I think Aaron Pierre is going to knock it out of the park as John Stewart. I can't wait to see his performance. And then what Kyle Chandler is going to bring to Hal Jordan, sign me up.
Yeah, I'm big. I love this. I think this is going to be really cool. And I think it's going to be a cool Hall H. I did make a mistake. The next one we're talking about is not at Hall H, but it is in a big ass room because it's at the Indigo Ballroom at Hilton San Diego. So it's a massive room. And that is My Adventures with Superman season 3. If you have been watching that, it's an Adult Swim animated series. Oh man, it is so much fun. And they are going to I'm going to quote this because I think it's fun. Is literally as they are going to have some cast and crew there to go on and show you about the evolving partnership between Adult Swim and DC Comics. I'm getting lost. This is so exciting, and they're saying that not only are they going to have that, they're going to have behind the scenes insights and special surprises for fans who attend. I always love when that happens, Ken. But don't you worry. They're going to have the showrunners, Jake Wyatt and Brendan Cloar there, as well as the writer Karen Gracie and the voice actors. Jack Quaid will be there, along as Alicia Lee, Ishmael Saeed, Kiana Madrea, and more.
Yes.
So listen, I have been a big fan of My Adventures with Superman. It is a really cool show, and I'm super pumped to see what they do.
Yeah, no, the animated show has been phenomenal. If you haven't checked it out, man, go catch it. It's so cool to see this version of Superman, and just you want that classic vibe, and it doesn't feel dated. Like that's what the show does so well. So super excited about that. Even going back to the DC too, we'll throw this in. I know it's not Hall H, but obviously Batman Nightfall Part 1. So it's DC Animation. They're going to be bringing it. So Rick Morales is going to be there with Jim Krieg, Jeremy Adams, yes, Michael Mondo, and other members of the creative team are going to be looking at bringing this Batman story to life. Nightfall, obviously a legendary one from the 90s, and still connects with fans to this day. Like it was just such a moment in time.
Absolutely. And then Ken, the speculation abound because 5:30 on Saturday from Hall H, it is Marvel Studios Hall H. Marvel Studios is back in Hall H again. I mean, they returned last year after not being there for a year, and now they're back again. Obviously, Doomsday is upon us. Obviously, before then, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day, amongst other things. What do you think we're going to get for Hall H here?
So Kevin Feige is going to come out there, and I am lock we're going to hear about Avengers Doomsday.
I love it. There you go, Ken.
Yeah.
You've heard it here first.
The safest bet of all. No, but the leap wise, I know there's a lot of question marks involving the Marvel Universe. And listen, if you're a diehard fan and you're excited about the movie, go ahead and be excited. If you're skeptical about what's going on, that's perfectly fair too. I think this movie is got a lot riding on it because obviously changing gears from the Kang storyline to Doctor Doom is an extreme one. And depending on your vibe of the lead-in films to this, and we're talking Fantastic Four, First Steps, we're talking Thunderbolts, Asterix, you might not exactly have the same buzz that we've had over years. I think though with this, they really are going to try making this feel like Avengers Endgame again, and really make this feel like an event because we know after this, Secret Wars is coming. The only question marks that we have, and I'm going to say leap-wise, is we're going to get the MCU casting of the X-Men here.
Ooh, we've heard some rumors lately.
There's been so many rumors, I don't even want to get into it. But I will say this. Either you're going to see Professor X and Magneto get announced, just those two actors.
Okay.
Or you're going to have the first official title of whatever the movie is going to be called, whether it's going to be called X-Men or something else. You're going to have that announcement there. I think they're going to say, this is what's coming after Doomsday, and just mic drop it. Almost like when they had Robert Downey Jr. come out in the Dr. Doom mask, and he whipped off. He's like, new mask, same task. You're going to have a moment like that. I just don't know who it's going to be. I think there's been so much that has been speculated that I can't really say yes or no. This person's going to be this person's going to be playing so and so. I honestly, it's up in the air. I think just you're going to hear the announcement of that. And then, after we're also going to have Spider-Man Brand New Day come out. I know there's been some crossovers, obviously, with Mark Ruffalo coming back and John Bernthal coming back as Hulk and Punisher, respectively. Who's to say? I know this is just wishful thinking, but maybe Miles Morales gets announced. I don't know. I'm putting the karma out in the world.
So I will follow suit, and I'll go with the easiest lock of all time. Since you already picked Doomsday, I will say we're going to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day because it's right around the corner. So let's be honest, we know that's going to happen. That's not like we're not soothsayers. But here's my leap. My leap is going to be a little different because I don't know if it's going to be announcements, but this is what I would like to see. So that's why I'm going to say it as a leap. With the uncertainty that you were talking about in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and with, what seems like a cooling a little bit of people's interest. I'm not saying it's disappeared. Obviously there's still a lot of hype for it. I would like the Kevin Feige to come out and do the classic, this is where the announcements come in, timeline. But I would also like him doing the timeline to maybe kind of address the critics. And I'm not saying give credence to all the trolls and everybody.
Sure.
I'm just saying, hey, we understand that a lot of confusing things happen because we had to switch directions. Trust me, it's all going to make sense. And it starts with maybe Brand New Day or it starts with Doomsday, whatever he wants to say. But then go, hey, to show you good faith, like you said, let's show some announcements. Let's get you the timeline. And then also say, and this is where you're going to learn it. You might be confused, but after this and this and this, Secret Wars, and then this and this and this will explain it all. And that, I think that we need a vote of confidence from the MCU,
yes,
Kevin Feige.
I agree.
I really think as fans, we need that vote of confidence because I think that's what we're lacking right now is this confidence that things, and granted, some of it was not their fault, but at the same point in juncture, we also have to recognize that it is a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just say that's my hopes is that we get some explanation, and not, like I said, he doesn't owe it to us as, he owes, but it'd be kind of cool because I think it would put a lot of the critics to sleep.
Well, I think that they need to, in all honesty, just the temp in the room is Superman did so well last year that Fantastic Four might have gotten overlooked in some fans' eyes. And I think that the MCU, even though it's been doing great stuff, Daredevil Born Again was great. The Punisher One Shot was a phenomenal episode. I think they really want to say, hey, the MCU is back. Like, we haven't gone anywhere. This has been the plan. This is going to be the plan. Like, they really want to take Hall H back and say, hey, we're Marvel Studios. I think they're really going to do something fun here, and you're going to see a moment like that happen. And I think they understand the temp in the room too. So I think they're really going to pull out some kind of crazy announcement. And like I said, I think it's going to be X-Men related. That's my pick.
I think that honestly, I think that would be the smart move, because that's going to be the thing that energizes the most people, in my opinion. Like that name energizes people, and I think that would carry through. I think that is important to have. But I like I said, more than that, I'd like the explanation. Not like I said, not a full on explanation, but hey, trust me, it's going to work. And sometimes you just need that vote of confidence. And I think that right now is a perfect time, because we're not going to get into the weeds of it, but Supergirl didn't do as well in the box office as a lot of people would like. Now there's a lot of people angry because now we've found out that the Batman 2 is now pushed back until February of 2028. I mean, this is the time that Marvel could really own everything, knowing that you have Doomsday coming, Brand New Day coming out a week after.
Yeah.
And then Doomsday coming out in December, and then Secret Wars coming out a year from then. You are beating them to the punch before, what most of the DC movie studios people want to see.
Yeah.
With the exception of Clayface getting some real good buzz, obviously, off of the teaser. Once again, I think this would be the moment to own it. And I think in these situations, Marvel Marvel Studios, I should say, has done a really good job in Hall H and owning those moments. So I think we're in for one hell of a ride.
Absolutely. So you definitely want to make sure you're locked and loaded on your social media that night. The internet might crash a little bit.
It will.
It usually does. So be patient. But as soon as word leaks out of what happens in that panel, trust me, it's going to be all over the place. We'll have some commentary on that on our social media accounts. So make sure you're following Fanlight Zone on every single social media platform. And we'll be discussing the events as they drop live there. And also just quickly, because I know we'll get asked about it too, we're also planning on doing an Eisner Award blog. So that will be featured there. So obviously a lot of categories and creators are going to be the talk of the town. So you really want to make sure you're catching up on that. So we'll have our picks about who's going to win awards. And obviously that's going to be one that it's always a huge moment for creators to really get acknowledged. So the Eisners are huge. And we figured that would be a great place to showcase that at. So fanlightzone.com, make sure you have that bookmarked and keep your eye out for that this coming week. So that being said, all the information you heard about comic-con.org and the respective publishers that have sent the press releases in. So like I said, they put it so eloquently. We were reading them, giving you our thoughts, giving you our opinions, but we want to know yours. So fanlightzone.com is the place to go. Hit us up. Let us know. Put in the liner notes of the episodes you're hearing and let us know what your thoughts are going into San Diego Comic-Con. And if you're there, tell us about the events that really impacted you. We want to hear those stories because there's going to be so much news coming out of this to carry us through to New York and beyond. So you definitely want to make sure you're tuned in for that. So that being said, on behalf of Rich and myself, thank you for watching the special edition of Fanlight Zone Presents. We'll see you next time.